this could be the best case that you ever buy for your Steam Deck. Okay, before we get into opening exactly what this is and tell you what it is, let me give you a little bit of a background. So, I am a Steam Deck player, and it's in there. Well, it's not, technically it's there, but it would be in there. So I use my Steam Deck. I got it last year. If anyone watches on Twitch, by the way, twitch.tv/ice cream, or across any of our socials, where ice cream uploads everywhere else. We play everything. PlayStation games, PC games, portable games on the Steam Deck. Bibby uses his G Cloud and so on. We play a bit of everything. And I got the Steam Deck last year, and I'm gonna be honest, I thought it might be one of those purchases where I might use it and I might not. I mean, I had a PSP and I had a PS Vita and I did use them, but did I get my money's worth? Never did. Even after doing completely legal hacking things, thanks for that, by the way, Bib, appreciate that, to the PS Vita afterwards, I still don't think I got my money's worth out of it. So this, I was kind of expecting the same again. I was wrong, by the way. I bring my Steam Deck on holidays, on work trips. I bring it into the office so that I can play, or even just sat on the couch or in bed at home. It is ridiculously good. Until you've got it and you start using it, you don't know how good it is. But that has then led me on a journey. So the first thing I got was this. We're not unboxing this, by the way. This isn't a spawn this bit at all, but I'm mentioning it because it is a step in the journey to what we're about to unbox. So this is a Steam Deck carry bag from Jsaux, a brand that I'd not heard of until I started doing my Steam Deck research, and it's basically an over-the-shoulder sling bag. One of those, it has a clip that goes around the front so you can keep it secure, and it's really good for when you're traveling because you can keep not just your Steam Deck in it, but I'll quick, this is not very organized, but I'll show you what sort of stuff I use it for. So I have a fold-out keyboard, so if I want to do any mouse and keyboardy things when I'm away, that's in there as well. I have a battery pack that clips onto the back of the Steam Deck. Numerous cables and things, even more cables, right-handed cables. And then within here, that is the compartment where the Steam Deck goes. And on the back, things like headphones, shout out Astro. More headphones, shout out Logitech G. You can use code ICU, no, it's code ice cream actually, should I say, for 10% off any of those purchases. But before we get onto that, so I bought into the concept of Jsaux products. I use them, they're good gear, really recommended. However, I bought myself a cheap protective bumper case for my Steam Deck. It does the job, don't get me wrong, it's not bad. It feels comfortable to hold. It's got a kickstand so the Steam Deck stands up. I don't know if you can see that properly with the lighting there. So there you go, a little bit of hint on it. It stands up, it does the job, it's nice. But there are failures when it comes to it. So whenever I'm playing in the office, so just an hour ago, we were playing Fortnite on lunch. Shout out for the Power Rangers grind. Yeah, we're getting you black and gold Dino Megazord, baby. But I've got the official Steam Deck dock. Great, that's nice. This case is thicker, so it doesn't fit in there. It doesn't sit in there. So, okay, well, that's fine. You can stand it next to it anyway. Another problem, the Steam Deck dock comes with a USB cable that has like a little bit of a lip on the end of it. It's designed to perfectly fit the Steam Deck, which means it doesn't fit through the case. So I don't even know if I've got an adapter on me. I do. Oh, here's one I prepared earlier. There you go. So I have to like put this on there to make it longer so that I can click it in, and it's just all kinds of faff. So when I spoke to Levi, I've got two boxes here because Levi from our office, inspired by my Jsaux purchase, thought, do you know what, I'm going to try the mod case for the Steam Deck. So the reason we have two is because this is one we bought earlier, and it's really good, apparently. So I thought, do you know what, I'm going to take that challenge out of here. We're going to reach out to Jsaux and say, look, we would like to unbox one of these and use one of these for ourselves within our content because we have an ICU vouch that this is good gear. Would you like to provide us one for the stream? And that's exactly what they did. Yeah. So we have the mod case for Steam Deck provided by Jsaux. So this was given to us completely free, but we don't have to say good things about it. So if there's any negatives that we discuss on the way through, we're allowed to say that. There's nothing holding us back. obviously, we've asked for this because we like it and we wanted to show it to you, so expect positive things as we go ahead, but we'll jump into that right now. Okay, let me move the Steam Deck and the dock and the Jsaux bag out of the way so we can get into unboxing the mod case for the Steam Deck. So here we are, a couple of bits of tape. Oh, we're back here again. I'm not even going to mention it. I'm not going to mention it because this is just going to be effortless. Look at that. Nice, problem-free. Nice. Boop, boop. What did I just say? What was I just saying? There we go. I'll stick those bits of tape on there so we know where they are. But this is it. Nice front opening box with protective packaging on top. Smooth, clean. We'll take that out. Nice little bit of packaging there. Some more protective packaging to keep it sturdy and in place onto the side, and then straight in. Couple of bits of information in the bottom. We'll put this back down a sec. So I think that's a quick start guide, maybe. Some information about getting involved with the Jsaux brand through their apps and so on. We don't need those for this bit, so we'll move them to the side. Take the box, put that back to the side as well. And this is it. So in a, I don't know if it's organic or not. It might just be plastic, but it feels like one of those organic plastic sort of covers. I hope it would be organic, but I don't actually know that for certain. So we'll take that off, put that over there. And that's it, basically. So the case that I have on my Steam Deck, this is effectively the same thing, but what it does have is, and I've never touched this before because I didn't want to use Levi's until I tried this myself, but that is basically a protective fronter. So when you use a case like this, you don't have anything on the front. Your screen is exposed, your sticks are exposed, and whilst you are covered in the Jsaux bag, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, I'll try to show it as much as possible. Whilst you are covered inside the Jsaux bag, there is a lining that has like indentation to allow for the thumb, sort of like the back paddle that sits in your palm. There's indentations for that to go in. There's an indentation for the sticks to go in so you get protection. As soon as you take it out of that box though, you're back to being exposed to the elements. The mod case has a protective front case, which is really good. It just slides on, slides off again. You can see this. I'll tell you how to put it on. Align to the top first, like that, then press down. Nice. Yeah. Good job I read that because I'd have been struggling to put that back on there, I'm going to be honest. But yeah, protective coverings for the sticks, some foam inners as well to keep the screen protected, and then I'll take this out of here now. Just some extra padding to keep the case secure. I don't know what that is. We'll come back to that. Oh, I do know what that is actually. So there's the case. You can see. I imagine you can see. I'll kind of hold it more to the screen. I don't know if that'll help. You can see through it. Is that worse? Nice. Great. Okay, let me do this. There you go. You can see through the case. There we go. Yeah. Should have planned to do that first. But this is what happens when you unbox things on the fly. You don't know what you're about to do, so we go. But yeah, the case is see-through. There is a lot of holes in the case too, not just to allow you to get access to the buttons on the back, but for ventilation, like on the top and so on. This does have its own kickstand, the same sort of thing as the other one, so you can stand that up there. But the good thing with this, which we're not going to see all of the benefits of, we can see a little bit of the benefit of, is that little thing there. There's a little nubbin on the back of this case there. I don't know if you can really see it with any of the angles. I'll try and give a little bit to that camera.
Stick your finger through it.
But that nubbin is actually to be used with this. So the case is called a mod case, and I don't actually know if this is the reason for it here. So Jsaux, if this is the case, I'm getting it wrong, I apologize. But I think it's called a mod case because it's basically a modular design. So this case is not just a protective hard shell, even though it's kind of rubbery in parts, it's still a hard shell because you get the hard bits there. So it's not just a protective freestanding hard shell case with a front cover, but the mod bit that I talk of is this bit on the back allows you to attach different modules to the back of the case. So this is almost like, so if anyone doesn't know, this is the world's largest wristwatch, by the way. You put that in your wrist and you can carry your, no, that's not what it is. No, this is, well, What's that?
Ben 10.
Some sort of dueling disc from Yu-Gi-Oh! No, this is a rubber strap for, and I left it out on purpose to do that, for if you have, say, a battery pack that you want to charge your Steam Deck whilst you're sat on a plane and you don't want to have to like hold it or have it loose in your lap or something. Just stick the strap around it. Obviously, because it's got multiple different holes like a wristwatch, it just holds your battery pack in place whilst you play the games. That's just for the battery pack, but there is, if you take this back off again, multiple different functions. We don't have them for this now. Jsaux said that they are looking at providing those with to us too, by the way, but there is a cooling fan. So if you play for long periods of time plugged in and your case kicks out a lot of heat, you can attach a cooling fan to the back. There's I think it's an 11-in-1 dock. So if you use this as your portable PC and you want to plug in a monitor and another monitor, maybe a charger and an SD card and a mouse and a keyboard, you can plug all of those things into a dock that just sits snappily on the back. So it works really good. But the thing that I like is the fact that, let me take this mod case off actually. I don't know whether this sits in, so I might be wrong on this bit. Oh, no, it does. It does a decent job of sitting in there. Yeah. Oh, okay. Look at that. Sits in. So that actually sits in the dock. I'll sit in front of it though. The key thing for me though is this charger that was on about before. You see there's a big hole cut out of there. That's because the Jsaux guys looked at what functions that people will be used to from first-party Steam Deck hardware and how they can embed that in. So it's not just like there is a long, thin USB-C hole cut in the top of a piece of plastic. What they've actually done is cut the whole segment out on the top there so that this can fit in entirely. So the Steam Deck, if it's in this case, you can charge it in this original dock as you go, which is really good, It might not fit perfectly. Do you know what? We'll come back to you in a second. I'm going to take that out of there and put it in there, but it takes me a while to get it out of that case, so we'll be back in a sec. Okay, in the bottom, over the buttons, slight little push on that end, slight little push on that end. Oh, that's so easy. Get out of here. That cost £2, so I can't really be angry. It does a job. If you got something like that, it does the job. But if you want to level up, then that's where this is. So I'm going to test, see if this actually does sit in. So pull that back. Yeah, so that's what it is. I don't know if this is meant to be like this, but Levi was saying when he used his, because he's got an official dock as well, you get this little leg that you can bend on the back, and you can either put it over the cable and have it sat at the back, or you can, oh no, it actually fully snugly fits in. That's actually amazing. I didn't think it fit in that nicely. I don't know if you can see this. Let me put this behind it to give you a little bit of colour, mate, because it's black on black. But yeah, that fits in really, really snugly there. And if you didn't want it, that you could, if you're moving it, you could just sit in front. But the charger, because of the cutout in the case, fits perfectly on the top there. So now, let's talk about just the mod case itself. So we're talking about why we actually wanted it. You can see what it is. We want something that's easy to apply, that offers protection to the front of the Steam Deck and will work with other things like the official Steam Deck dock and so on. Tick, tick, tick. This does all of that. But I'm actually really surprised at, I don't know whether we were recording, so you might have seen it in the edit, you might not. And if you don't, apologies. But it was actually really easy to put this on. I just basically stuck it in the bottom, snug on one end, snug on the other, job's a good one. There is no movement. If I gave you this and you'd never touched the Steam Deck before, also, let me just stop for a second, nice texturing on there. This one doesn't have that, so it's quite slippy in your hand. This, it's nice. Steam Deck has a bit of weight, so it moves around, and there's a good chance that you could drop it if you're not careful with it. That extra bit of friction helps. But if you'd never touched one before, you would be convinced that this was part of the same thing. That's good. Good quality building, really good fit. If it didn't say Jsaux on the front, you wouldn't know that this was a third-party piece. So, really liking that. Still got access to the volume button, still got access to the power button, still got access to the trigger buttons. So you can do anything that you want with it. Obviously, take the faceplate off and you get access to everything, including the thumbsticks. What I will say is, it's actually surprisingly light. I was thinking having the Steam Deck, then having something wrapped around the back of the Steam Deck with the protective case on the front, I was expecting the thickness to suddenly jump up. Now don't get me wrong, a Steam Deck's not the thinnest baby in the world. Its thickness is mostly on the hand grips slash buttons on the side, but it doesn't really feel like it's adding much to it, which is nice, so that's why I was quite surprised that even though that stuff's on it, it will still sit mostly, oh there you go, yeah, pretty sturdy in there, he says, before he knocks it over. But it will still mostly sit inside the dock. So if I was to pull that out to give it the extra sturdiness on there, if I left this docked into a PC, so this is my dock that's underneath it, from the back of this you would have a HDMI cable to a monitor or a TV, you'd have a USB cable to a dual sense control, so an exact use case scenario. When I use this at my desk, I have it's a DVI cable, but we'll just call it HDMI because most people will be aware of that. I know most people watching this probably know what a DVI cable is, but still, HDMI into the back of the dock, USB from the controller into the back of the dock. I have a power lead coming from a charger into the back of the dock, and then I have an Ethernet cable going into the back so that I can use wired internet from our office. It's just faster, more reliable. That means I get good internet connection out to an external monitor, an actual controller to use for playing, plus power pass-through so that my Steam Deck charges whilst I'm playing. And I can do that with the case on. So this protective outer case, if I was, it's not, I mean, it's actually quite sturdy there now with the back pulled out, but if I was to knock that over and it fell forward, I can still be happy in the fact that there is protection for the screen and the thumbsticks despite it being in use. So that's actually pretty cool. If you have a bag like this, I'm going to test to see if it fits inside. It's the same brand, so I assume it will. Yeah, effortlessly inside. No problem with that in there. Now, I'm going to take it back out because I'm still not finished with this yet, but yeah, really good. The only things we can't test because we've only just got this and you need to do it over a longer period of time is how it works in terms of heat. I mean, this case was great for it, and there's more ventilation in this case and more flexibility in the material. So I imagine heat isn't going to be a problem. That said, one of the accessories that comes on the back of this is a cooling fan. So we'll see what it's like in terms of heat, whether these grills on the back and on the sides and the top allow enough heat to come out or whether it feels like it is getting warmer. And then if we do get the cooling fan, we can see what it's like with that, whether that's something you need or it's just a nice to have if you're having long playthroughs. So all in, this, do you know what, I'm actually a big fan. I didn't pay for this. I'm going to be honest, like I've said it before, we didn't pay for this. I did pay for the Jsaux bag, which got me interested. Levi did pay for his, pointing down there because if you didn't see the start of the video, I threw it away. But we did pay for that, and when we paid for that, it was $29.99. The price is still the same now, whether you buy it direct from Jsaux or Amazon, $29.99. And for that sort of price, for this sort of style and comfort, that's a no-brainer for me. $29.99 for quality protection. I'm a big fan of this. So if you're a person that likes a Steam Deck, that wants to play on the go, that wants to use it in more environments but is scared of taking it elsewhere, whether you've got a bag built for purpose or you're just going to put this, say, in a suitcase or in something else, I would recommend very much giving this a try. And if you are interested in picking this up and trying it for yourself, $29.99 isn't a lot of money. Now, all the other accessories are add-ons, so you can choose to buy one ultimate kit if you want, or you can buy them in parts as you go. Then we've been given an affiliate link from Jsaux, which will be in the description down below. And if we get a discount code, well, that's going to be on the screen right here. And if it isn't, then it's not. Nice. Okay, I'm not going to give a verdict on this because I've just unboxed it. I can't really do that. This is an unboxing and a thoughts and our logic for why you might use this. But I'm excited to use it as a portable device and something that I use on my desk. So keep your eyes on us. We'll no doubt have some follow-up content, maybe with more Jsaux content, potentially using the other modules that come and join on to the Modcase. Yeah, we'll be looking forward to bringing more on that. Until next time, though, stay frosty.